For me, Fallout 4 was a really difficult game to recommend. If you were new to this series, it had enjoyable gameplay and fun base building elements that YouTubers like Robaz created some insane settlements with. But the game lacks replayability, and though the story was somewhat interesting, the missions got repetitive quickly. But if you had put in considerable time into Fallout 3 or New Vegas, this new experience felt somewhat hollow. In comparison, those earlier entries were more fun with better writing and funnier characters. There was an irreverent tone and comedy to everything that paired well with its post-apocalyptic setting. Who would have to keep their sanity and etiquette in check when the world had ended? Fallout 4 was still good, but it felt somewhat diluted, with only a handful of interesting NPC stories and a voiced protagonist whose responses would narrow you down the same ineffectual path. Fallout 4 was just altogether more earnest and straightforward. The same could not be said for its engine. Although the game could be pretty at times, it never felt polished. And alongside other open world games that came out in the same year, it felt buggy and unrefined and performed poorly on every single platform. There were all manner of framerate issues and lighting issues, stability issues, game-breaking bugs that stretched the patience of anyone who bought it within the first, 6 months. However, with all Bethesda games, for me, there was a glimmer of a different kind of potential. Present in every single one of their modern titles was an NPC that would accompany you on travels, and to me, that held the real promise. The idea of exploring these barren and terrifying wastelands alone was never appealing to me, so the idea that you could bring along a smartly written and interesting companion was a must. But what if that companion could be a real human being? A companion not bound by pre-recorded dialogue and hopefully you already liked. Fully fleshed out cooperative stories are hard to come by, but few gaming thrills come close to blowing up psychos in Borderlands or raiding with your friends in Destiny 1. There's something special in those group moments that you just can't manufacture. Some attempts were made to bring multiplayer to Skyrim, but usually those were hacked together attempts where a second player would control the actions of an existing NPC, though it was never feature-rich nor stable enough to complete the game to. Elder Scrolls Online was a valiant, albeit different beast, which set out to be a fantastic MMO, and after a couple of years and hundreds of patches, it actually got there. But ESO was an MMO first, and a cooperative Elder Scrolls game it was not. So when the premise of Fallout 76 was released, I was incredibly excited. All I wanted was to play a Fallout game with my friends. The world of Fallout 4 is replete with rich lore, interesting moral conundrums, and uniquely compelling characters. Imagine discovering strange new bunkers and getting caught in a trap that your friend has to free you from. You could help out innocent traders make their path along perilous trade routes. Or you could break into a gunner outpost in the dead of night and destroy everything. Now that is a game I'd be prepared to pour twice the hours into that I did for Skyrim and Fallout 4 combined. I couldn't wait to see if this game lived up to a fraction of my expectations. Spoiler alert, it didn't. First off, Bethesda released a letter to their fans on their Twitter page that basically was like, oof, this took us a long time to make and we're still making it. Sorry, forgive us? Which is never a good start. I'll leave a link down in the description down below to the letter so you can see it for yourself. And the usual bugs from Bethesda were discovered. Things like if you had pressed a key in the launcher, it would delete all your local game files, to serious things like unsecured server connections that meant that other players on the server could see your IP address and potentially DDoS or just send you a fake server request to kick you from the server. There were no checks to stop people from flying, having infinite ammo, or just being stupid. But those are just the teething problems of any new game, just exacerbated with the problems of the now aging creation engine. Those issues would probably be patched out, definitely not in the week between the beta and the release of the game, but eventually those issues will be tackled. No, the thing that worried me the most watching beta streams and videos was that there were no NPCs. There are no NPCs present in this world at all. No shopkeepers, no children stuck in fridges, no eclectic robots, nothing. Is the reason people play Fallout the gunplay and the loot grind? Otherwise, how do you bring a world to life if it doesn't have a voice? I understand this game's premise is that these are the first vaults opening after 50 years since the bombs, but to me, That's writing backwards from a development decision that we don't have the money, time or resources to make NPCs, design and voice them. From an outsider's perspective, this game looks like an experiment and you're the guinea pig on how little Fallout can we give people and have them still play. Yes, the world is littered with little trinkets and letters dotted around the world which you can read, but pushing all the storytelling onto the player didn't really work for me. It's just too much of an ask for a world as intricate and full of so much potential like Fallout. Plus all the original issues we had with the Fallout 4 engine, with poor dialogue choices and bad character writing. Did they just throw all the toys out of their pram and give up on it all? It seems like over the last 4 years, the team has put all their time into building netcode and filling out this new world. But to me, that's only one half of the cooperative Fallout sandwich. The other half, the filling, has to be the world itself, the people and the characters of this world. Name one other open world game, MMO or even adventure game that doesn't have NPCs. Even a game like Destiny, which is designed to be a shooter played with friends, has quite a lot of story and character built in. If anything, it received criticism for being bad when that launched because the characters weren't what people were expecting. There are going to be no more Radiant style quests where you help a traveller out to discover that he's a thief, or being held up at gunpoint for your caps, or trying to trick someone to gain access to their cult and pretend that you have all the credentials. All of those moments are gone. In its place are endless fetch quests and kill quests and loot locked behind level walls. In its place is basic settlement building which is unimaginative and unfulfilling. In its place are empty PvP encounters which have no stakes and no point. I don't know if this game was worth the wait. It certainly doesn't even deliver on the game it's promising, never mind what it could have been. The amount of money GTA Online made last year is terrifying. And I understand the financial impetus to kind of want to replicate even a fraction of that. But underneath the extravagant houses and obnoxious cars was a really great and well filled out world that was detailed and had really fun characters in it. All the online DLC and the stuff that came afterwards was just a bonus. In my mind, they should have spent an extra year or two making an engine that could load a complex building without triggering a load, or having smart enough settlers that don't get stuck on a bloody step into a building that you designed for their benefit, or even just a UI that wasn't just completely trash with a keyboard and mouse. That would have been the bare minimum. In an ideal world, it would have all of that underneath it, but filled with smart and witty NPCs with characters who have their own worlds and quests that have consequences. In an ideal world, it would be a settlement building experience that was fun and fulfilling and you could actually be really creative with. That is a game worth playing. And the crux of it all? I don't think that will ever come. I'm a big apologist for No Man's Sky. I got the game near launch and it's taken a long time to get good, fun. But the difference is Hello Games make just this one game. And it's their baby, and they have to prove through this game who they are and what kind of developers they are. For Bethesda, this is just an installment. And another one will be out in 4 to 5 years. In between then, everyone who played Fallout 76 will just play Elder Scrolls 6, and they'll forget about all the mistakes Bethesda made. Fallout 76 will either make $1 billion and live on as a games as service forever, or it will die, and Bethesda will just move on to the next Fallout game. I wanted this to be my perfect game, and maybe that was never going to be realistic, but it's not even a game I would put up with. Never mind enjoy. Never mind being an installment into one of my favourite game series of all time. Fallout 76 isn't a Fallout game, but you're sure as hell that it's a Bethesda game. So that's it, guys. That's just my thoughts on what Fallout has become. Are you going to be playing it? Have you already bought it? The game comes out when this video comes out. Did you pre-order it? Let us know down in the comments down below. So if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, hit us up on Twitter and let us know what you thought as well. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.